Good morning, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. We're making a paddock move into another farm. We're leaving what we call Marshall's farm. We're going into Crane's farm. And there's our old lead cow, 160. And then the one we call Horns. She's always at the front. I tell you, when you have a couple cows that'll come when you call them and they'll lead all the rest of them, gosh, it makes this so easy. They just follow, you know, and there's about 320 coming up this ridge, and not much grass right in here. It's just kind of a pathway, but get on up in here around this flat area up here. There's some really nice forage, and we're gonna get it. We're gonna get about a third of it, okay? We're only gonna have them in here half a day. Just kind of take the tops off and move them. We're getting rain now, and so the ground is soaked up good. It did frost lightly last night, not real hard, but a light frost. They're pretty happy. They know where they're going. They're like, I know there's some good grass right up on top of this hill. I'm gonna follow them up this ridge. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, I may do that on the four-wheeler. That way we still got a few things to make hot around here. This has got the Stayfix 36 Joule charger on it. It's hot. Sasha mistakenly grabbed a hold of it. He thought it was off. And it absolutely lit him up. I think he put a meter on after he touched it. It was about 8,500 volts. And he was grounded really good because the ground was moist. Here's our rock skirt. This is an old farm, but you can see the rock skirt down there Johnny put in. I'll tell you what, folks, these things work unbelievably well. I love our rock skirts. See, we're not tearing our ponds up, and we can drink from them. The cattle can't physically get in the pond and take a bath. They can reach the water and they can drink and then they leave, you know, because the rock is very uncomfortable on their feet. So here's something I want to address right there. Folks, these are a living nightmare. Unfortunately, every single ash tree in Missouri now is dead. Compliments of the ash borer. And this farm's got probably, well, just in our pasture, we're going to end up cutting probably 50 of these. And you definitely want a hard hat on, and you want somebody that knows how to cut them down. And it's good chainsaw. You want a sharp chainsaw. You want a tractor with grapples. You need, if you don't know which way it's falling, you need to put a ladder and put a chain up in the top of that tree and winch them over. I can't overemphasize how dangerous these are, and I don't even like talking about it, but I might as well. We had a very bad thing happen. I haven't talked about it. It kind of pains me to almost talk about it, but I guess it's been about 10 days now. Our good friend was mowing his yard. He had his riding mower out just mowing his yard, and he went underneath the tree, probably 4 times bigger than that one, but it had a dead limb hanging in it. And right when he drove under it, the dang limb, about the size of that limb coming off on this side, it was about that big, it snapped. and it hit him right on the back corner of his head. And yeah, it paralyzed. He's got paralysis. He's getting some of his feeling back now, but you know, it was just tough. You know, you ask yourself, why does something like that have to happen? You know, and it was just a darn freak accident. That's what it was. And it wasn't too many days. We were up there and we put a chain on that tree, and Sasha had his big 88 steel, and we took that thing to the ground, the whole tree. It was dead. Pretty much the whole tree was dead. And we put it on the ground. And went after all the other dead trees around and put them on the ground. But there's, you know, all I can say is life is so precious, and your health, folks, don't take your health for granted. If you've got good health, thank your lucky stars. And you know, we're praying for our good friend, and he is getting some positive things going on. They've got him in extreme physical therapy now. He's in the rehabilitation center, and they're making him work some of his muscles and such over. But you know, we're very optimistic that he'll get back, you know, most of his bodily movement parts, and that's all you can do. You know, you just pray for him. But life throws some really, really bad curves, or it can, and it doesn't seem like it's why, you know, you question yourself, why does something like that have to happen? And it just goes back to sometimes there's just accidents, and it's just, you know, it happened. And I'm just going to leave it right there. But we are going to see him as much as we can, and he is showing, you know, there are some good improvements coming along his way, and so we're very, very hopeful that he just continues to progress and get better each day, and that's what we can do. So that's why we're taking these trees down. Folks, be careful. If you're not good with a chainsaw, these things are absolute death traps, because that's an ash. And what happens is when you cut that, the top of that tree will fall. Okay? So, for sure have a hard hat on, and you might be better off hiring a professional tree cutter to come in and cut those things. Because what they do is they have a lift, or they can start at the top up there and cut the tops out and work their way down the tree. And yeah, it's cutting trees is dangerous. You know, there's my neighbor, his wood cutter. He asked why he hadn't delivered his wood. He called his wife up. He's supposed to get his wood delivered, and the wife solemnly told him. He said, "Well, he was cutting firewood last week, and he cut a tree down, and it hit him, killed him." So trees don't play fair. They're heavy, and when they fall, if you're in the way, they don't care. And you think, you know, you go up to that tree right there, well, it's kind of leaning off to my right, I could go in there and cut that. Well, there may be a limb up there just ready to snap off. And when you go underneath that tree, of course, you're fair game. So I know Missouri's covered with these ash trees, and there's going to be some people hurt cutting these darn things, because they're not like an oak. They rot faster. The limbs are a lot more susceptible to snapping off. The tree that got our friend was a hard maple tree, but it was probably 100 years old. It was a big tree, and still had a few live limbs on it, but not very many. But anyway, back to the video. This is what the cows are eating. It's pretty darn good grass up here. This is, we mow this once a year. The landowner likes it mowed. He lives right there. We've got his whole yard fenced off. Well, we gave some of the yard to the cattle. He likes that. But, you know, he had Halloween stuff put out all over up there. Pumpkins and gourds and different little trinkets and things. And boy, if those cows would have got access to that, they'd have ate the pumpkins. They literally would eat them. And you can see what they're doing right here. The cattle all went to this one oak tree. There must be 1,000 acorns under here. But folks, the acorns are safe now. Mostly. I still wouldn't want to get a whole bunch of them in a young calf. But they're eating them. And if you look at the color of them, when acorns drop on the ground, they're green, you're going to lose some baby calves or eat some younger calves. It kills the rumen. Well, here's what they're eating. Right there. And they're enjoying them. The cows, it doesn't bother them at all. But when they're brown, they're pretty much safe to eat. But when they're green, and see, they're getting grass with it too. You wouldn't want to put them on just a solid diet of acorns. They're going to eat some of these, and there's 320 head in here, so it's not like they're going to get 10 pounds of acorns. They might get half a pound, but then they're going to go eat 30 pounds of grass. A cow that weighs 1,000 pounds will eat 3% of her body weight. So that's 30 pounds. Did you get them all, Sasha?
They all came through, yes sir.
Some
stragglers down there.
You see how they're tearing up the acorns there?
Oh, every paddock we've been letting them into, that's the first thing they go for.
I was telling the people in the video that the acorns have turned brown now, and so they're safe to eat.
Yeah, less tannins and less
less
toxins.
tannins. Yeah, you get a bunch of green acorns in a 200-pound calf, you're in trouble.
Yep.
It can actually kill them
them
pretty
to
darn
handle.
quick. Yeah. So, well, that was a good cattle drive.
It was.
You were at the back and I was in the front, and here 160. As soon as she heard me, she came up.
Always at the front, 160 and 196. If you get those two to go, all the rest
Yep.
will follow.
Well,
They'll be slow, but they'll move that way.
196 is right behind was right behind 160.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Well, folks, we're going to get out of here. We still got a few things we want to get done this morning. It's a beautiful morning here in October in mid-Missouri, and y'all have a great day, and we'll see you next time.